We are so live. Alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Look, my phone's-
Bill's home.
Bill is home.
He gets to listen to us today.
Well, he hasn't been feeling well.
Oh, wait, I can't hear you now.
You can't hear me now.
I can't hear you.
What? You can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Hey, good looking what you got cooking. Can you hear me now?
I'm not sure what's happening.
Hi.
Let me mute this
Let
and
me
let me
hear
try to
you.
turn this up.
Let me hear you clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap.
I could hear you until
You
we
can
went
hear.
live. Now I can't hear you.
How come you can't hear me? If you can hear me,
You
clap
can hear me?
once. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times.
Oh, bang. I can hear
If you
you.
can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice.
All right, friends, we are live. We are ready to roll. Just want to welcome everyone back to another episode of Lunch with MSCA. Whether you're driving in your car or sitting at your desk or on your planning period, whether you're eating lunch or on your midday walk, we are just so glad that you're here joining us. Now, this week will look a little bit different because we don't really have an outside guest speaker. But that's okay because we're going to use this time to talk a little bit about our teams and how we have made decisions that impact what unity looks like behind the scenes of Mountain State Cheer Academy. So, like I said, this week is all about unity. It's not just about, matching bows and matching uniforms, but
Oh, yes,
rather
it
it's
is.
about our hearts
Oh,
and our vision and our shared goals. So, it's about our athletes, our parents,
yeah,
our
it is.
staff, it's about the community, it's about everybody coming together. When we move together, we rise.
Rise, shine, and we give God the glory, glory. And I tell you what, when you talk about having it look together, it drives me nuts though. When we don't have it together, it really, really bothers me. But I see what you're saying. You know what? We are fired up and we are ready to go. Are you excited?
I am excited. I'm a little bit under the weather. I invited Coach Des with us, who's also homesick under the weather, but I was like, we don't care. Like, get your cup of tea and join us, even if you're under the weather. So Des might pop in and join us today. Coach Desiree, um, I called her and she was in bed, but she was like, I might hop on. I need to brush my hair and some things. So we're all feeling a little, my nose is running. I've got my water here. So I am fired up. I am excited, but my eyes are watering and yeah.
Well, last week we had the pleasure of having Christy Tenney on our live, and that was really exciting. I just love her.
I know. She's so
And
happy and fun and
yes, and
positive. She's so positive.
I actually watched a podcast of Julie. Someone had sent me a podcast of something, some of the things that she's doing. And I think that she's always been so positive. And I think that
Yeah. She actually she was doing I can't remember how many days. I'd have to look at my messages, but
40
I'm part of
days.
I'm part of that message group. So every day I get a Bible verse and then her input on that verse and um yeah, it's just a good reminder of being grounded and she's just so happy, so sweet, so thoughtful.
Yeah.
But yeah, last week's podcast was great on we kind of combined the two. It was on excellence and determination and that's because we missed the week before that. So we had to, kind of throw some things at.
Double up.
Yep, double up, be on the fly, be flexible, and we did that. So to get back on track, now we're on Unity, and I do want to take a second just to invite our viewers or our listeners to comment on today's episode just about what you think unity means. What does it mean in your home? What does it mean on your team? What does it mean in your place of work, in the community? So, just we want to hear from you so that we can talk about your thoughts as well throughout today's episode. We know, our core values are really what shape our culture here, and they really define our vision as well. They define who we are, how we treat others, and how um, we want to move forward with this company, with our teams, and so on. So, when everyone is living by the same values, friendship, integrity, respect, excellence, determination, unity, and
Unity and
positivity,
positivity.
it really makes things flow. It makes things go easier. It really gets everybody moving in the same direction and on the same page. So here at Mountain State, we use those fired up core values, not just as words. I want to get them put on the wall, but they're not just words that one day will be on the wall, but they really do guide how we coach, how we see each other, how we feel, how we inspire, and how we show up every day for our athletes, and how our athletes show up for themselves and for each other and our families. So that's what makes this place feel different, is because of the culture that we've built and that we continue to live in, these values that we adhere to every day. Are we perfect?
No.
We're absolutely not. Am I positive all the time? I'm surely not.
Uh,
But I really do try, and I try to circle back, and we try to balance each other out. And
yeah,
so we are growing and learning every day. We appreciate our
absolutely.
families who are willing to be a part of this process with us. So let's
Absolutely.
talk. Yeah. I did
So,
want to throw in, Candy, we talked about, we had, what is the meeting ID? Coach Des. Do you mind to talk a little bit about insight? I wanted to not only talk about our core values, but also, like behind the scenes a little bit. And we had some topics that were coming up in the future, but I thought that team placements would be a good one for this episode because we were very intentional about our team placements, what went into those decisions. And so I thought we could kind of combine this topic a little bit with Unity. Do you mind to kind of kickstart that while I figure out Des?
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you.
This is, how do we make the team placement? So, over the summer, we talked about placements. How does that look like? And, we kind of discuss that. What each team, last year we only had one team. So it was a lot easier to kind of start that foundation. And going back to where we started from youth, it kind of built onto that because we already knew some of our children, we already knew some of our athletes, we already knew some of their skills, we already knew their attitudes, already knew their work ethic. And that has a lot to do, and that has a lot to do with how they play a role into the team, basically. And I had to learn a lot about All Stars because All Stars is totally different from what I'm used to. It's totally different from youth cheer. And that's what I used to cheer youth, and it's a lot different from school, like, you know, school cheer. And that's what I cheered and coached. So I never cheered All Stars, totally different world. So, and All Stars is basically based on skill level too, and they all have to be basically on the same skill level. We have girls that can do like whip passes. However, they have to be able to. There's Des. I see Des. Did she
Coach
join? I
Des
don't
in
know.
the
Where
house.
is Coach Jess? Where's
There
she
she
at?
is,
Where's
Coach
she's at? Where's she
Des.
at? I don't see her.
You don't? Well, you
No.
might have to change your view.
Where is my view at? Where's my view? Where
Just
my
swipe.
view at?
Okay,
There you are.
swipe to the right.
Slapping
Yeah.
nose, slapping, slapping nose, slapping. There you are. Okay. Hey, pretty girl. So, like I was saying, we're talking about placements of like girls on the team
Oh, okay.
and how we're talking about that. So, we have girls that can do like whip passes. However, all stars, we have to do it based on their actual like level one, mini
Yeah.
level one. There's level three, there's level six, there's youth, there's so many levels. And I was talking about like youth and school cheer is totally different from like all-star cheer when we like talk about that
I
because
think, sorry, I'm just going to expand on that because I'm not sure all of our viewers understand. In youth cheer and in school cheer, everything's divided by age, yes, but in youth cheer and in school cheer, there's like a rubric, right? The score sheet kind of looks like a rubric in the sense that you can go from level one all the way to level five or six. And in that rubric, you have everything broken out into sections. So you've got your stunt section, you've got your tumble section, you've got your dance section, you have your cheer section. And so within every section, you can be in that rubric 1 through 6. Whereas in All Stars, you're also divided by age, but you're only focused in one of those levels. So right now we are only focusing on level one. So all of our athletes have to, within that level one rubric. So school cheer, level 1 through 6, and it's very broad. It's just like, yes, you can have all of these skills. You can have 5 girls at level 5 tumbling, 3 at level 1, and then you have to figure out what does that mean for your team? Where does that place you difficulty wise? But in All Stars, your level one rubric looks like this. So everything is very expanded in level one, and level one is very specific on exactly what you need to achieve the maximum points for level one. So it's just very focused and it's very specific.
and I like how like All Stars break it down to where it tells you exactly what they want in that level.
Right. And we're not allowed to go outside of that level.
Sorry,
So
I have
whereas
Kool
all
Aid.
star or where school cheer and youth, like you can pretty much do any tumbling you want. There's nothing that says you can't do, I mean, you can't do a double full in high school cheerleading. But for the most part, like you can do pretty much anything you want in high school. You can have one girl who can only do a back walkover, perform a back walkover, while another girl does a full through full. But in level one, you may not do a back handspring.
Yeah.
You may not do a single leg full extension
Which
stunt.
is great when you're trying to progress. Like
Right.
for
And when you
especially
want
when
them,
you to
when
grow.
you want them to be really, really good at foundation.
Right. Now at high
Because we know
school,
our girls can go to full extension, single leg stunt, but it'd be shaky, it'd be wobbly. They're not ready to. You know what I mean? We know that they can do whip passes, but they're not ready to perform that. They're not ready to compete that.
Mhm.
And also it makes us like in youth cheer and high school, you could have level 2 stunts, but you could have level 6 tumbling, right? Like,
Yeah.
but in All Stars, you have to have level 1 tumbling, you have to have level 1 jumps, you have to have level 1 dance, you have to have level 1 of everything across the board,
Yeah.
which makes it, I think the routine's a lot more fun because you don't have you don't have a lot of like ebbs and flows in the routine where you're like, oh, they stunted really well, but they're tumbling. You know what I mean? And you sometimes see that. But also, it makes our kids feel a little bit held back when they're excelling so much at tumbling. But that's why we didn't have a level 2 team this year because we have the tumbling, but we don't have the stunts. We're just not developmentally ready for the stunts.
Yeah. So
So,
talking about like skill level, let's talk about like work ethic and attendance. Like let's talk about that like in our
yeah.
team.
Well, and also, yeah, because I think that's a lot of times parents get stuck on the fact that, well, my child has these skills. Well, does your child have the experience to perform these skills? Does your child have the confidence to perform these skills under pressure? Are they consistently showing up for themselves, their teammates, their coaches? Have we been able to get a real, well-rounded look at, you know, practices and under pressure and all of those things. But maturity is huge. When we go to competition, Candy, we saw it last year. We had babies on the team. I mean, we probably had one of the youngest teams out there. Now, this year, we might have one of the oldest teams out there.
Coming in hot, hot.
But even our parents, you remember our first competition at the Arnold Classic and we got off the floor and we went back looking at those
Yes.
teams and even on the when they went to the podium, our parents were like, "How old are those girls?" But the point is that in All-Stars, they max out the age groups. Like you want to max out your ages because of maturity and developmental, I mean cognitive skills, like you want to make sure we had to tie how many shoes last year, but now our kids are tying their own shoes. Like it's the little
Except for
things.
Paisley. She
That's
stuffs
okay.
them on the
One out of 12
side.
or one out of
She
11.
stuffs
Like
them.
that's but yeah, so maturity, like cognitive growth and development, work ethic, accountability, leadership skills, like all of those play into a part of where we place teammates on different teams. And we do all of this because we want unity on our teams, you know? Like we want to make sure that our teams are able to work together to succeed.
Well,
Uh,
and also, I noticed that, Delaney, she came at the end of basically our season, like when we were just getting ready to compete. And now she's like one of our top leaders, top
Absolutely.
flyers. Like she has worked her booty pants off.
She has.
And she has become like one of our prettiest. Like she has worked really hard.
She has. Even at the beginning of the year, when we went through choreo and we put those scales in, I was like, Delaney, I think I even called her right out. I was like, Delaney, you're gonna have to step it up because homegirl over here her leg is way higher than yours. I mean, she had like a little skater. You remember the skaters back in the day? You
Yeah.
remember a skater?
Little stanky leg.
Yeah. But Des was with us. We went to B-Dubs afterwards to talk about team placements. They were not easy, were they, Des?
No.
They were not easy. We really put a lot of thought. Tell us about how your thought process went and team placements and how we came to some of those decisions.
Um, I just feel like we couldn't just take it on like the skills that they have to do. Like, can they be a great flyer? Yes, but can they be a great flyer with all the other girls that are on the team? Are they going to be able to be a great flyer when it comes time for them to go in the air after they've already done a minute of a routine? Are they
Right.
going to be
Can
able
they
to
learn
yeah,
choreo fast enough? Yeah.
yeah. And that's the same as going back to like tumbling skills. Like, yes, most of the girls on the elite team are in level 3 tumbling. They're working on their whip pass or they can do a whip pass, but they're not ready to do that in a 2-minute routine where they have to tumble more than just once, do the pass more than just one time.
Right. Or, we've never even touched level 2 or level 3 stunts yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the decisions were never easy. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my little system that I developed because I think it was really eye-opening. And of course, like we're just getting started. This is year 2. This was actually the first time we've even had to deal with team placements because Candy, last year we were just pretty much begging anybody to be on a team. I mean, we were like, "Oh, you want to do all-star cheerleading? You don't have a back walkover? Be on our level 1. We'll teach you." I mean, we literally had girls who, at the beginning of the season, could not do a back walkover. Multiple, I think 4 or 5 girls who couldn't do a back walkover out of 12. So last year, we went from begging girls to join and trying to get our first season underway to this year having, 42 athletes to figure out where do we strategically place them. That was hard. And um, I'll tell you what was eye-opening to me, and I don't know if it worked, but it got us here was I went through every single um tryout form, tryout feedback, like evaluation form, and went section by section and every athlete, I sort of pre-built my team, right? I knew where a lot of the girls would go, but there were also 5 or 6 that were kind of in between that we had to really think hard about which team to place them on. And especially for those girls, but we started with our elite team and built it first, and then we kind of tiered down to the other teams. And when we got to those 5 or 6 athletes, I went section by section and built our team out like on elite. Okay, we need 6 girls in jumps. Who are our top 6? And I numbered them. Delaney had the best jumps. She's getting 6 points. Raylan, she's the next best jumper. She's getting 5 points. Lainey, next best jumper. She's getting 4 points. And so I literally did like a point system for every athlete. And then
That was based on the score sheet
from tryouts.
from tryouts, and also the score sheet from competition as well too.
Yeah, we do. Right.
Like that too. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, there were athletes who are from other teams in this mix too. I'm just using this as an example. So everybody got like a point system in every single section of the routine. So in jumps, in standing tumbling, in running tumbling, in flyer positions, in basing position, in back spot position. I ranked everybody by a point system. And then I went through and I tallied and counted how many times would an athlete be in a position throughout the routine. Because what I didn't want was an athlete to just be inactive the whole routine and not have an opportunity to fly at all, or not to have an opportunity to base. Because I could have a really good tumbler on the team, who can execute a tumbling pass, but if they don't have an opportunity to be in the dance, or if they don't have an opportunity to be in jumps, or if they don't have an opportunity to be in stunts, then they're going to be squatting the whole routine, and they would be better off on a different team where they have the chance and the opportunity to learn how to do some of those other spots. So it wasn't just about, because that's defeating. Like if you have an athlete, as a parent, as an athlete, if you're just in the routine to do one section, you're not going to come back next year. You're not going to like it. You're not going to have fun. You're going to show up to practices with a bad attitude, and that's not unity. Like that's not how we get the culture at the gym where we want it to be. We want everybody actively engaged in the routines in as many sections as humanly possible, and learning how to get better in positions where they may not have the opportunity if they were on a different team. So, was this perfect? Was this strategy perfect? No, I will say it was not, because there were athletes who may be better in sections, but unfortunately for choreography reasons, couldn't be, if that makes sense. Because when the choreographers come in, they have a routine that's pretty ideal. And all stars, like we don't have time to walk for an entire 8 count. Like you're expected to be there, be in the spot, and if we need you to do a real walkover, or a Valdez, or a switch leg kickover, or if we need you in jumps, you're expected to be able to jump, even if you might not be top six. But because of your position on the floor during choreo, you might have to step up, and you might have to become the top six by the end of the year. So, Candy, anything else to say on that?
I just know that I think it was Des and I, we were trying to figure out, like, because flyers are really hard to come by, like, especially when you're first starting out. And I know that, there were times that we were working and trying to see, Braylee, she was first starting out. Was it this summer that she just first started out, like tumbling and stretching? And that girl, I mean, she has worked hard. Like she has busted her booty pants. And, I remember we were just trying to work with her, see what body positions that she could pull, and see, if she would be able to, like with one person, two people. And it's just, it's really hard. It's
It
really
is.
hard.
And you want to take personalities into account, like
Yeah.
who you want to make sure you have leadership on every team. You want to make sure that
And we had sorry, I don't mean to
no,
cut you
go ahead.
off, but because Taylor gave us homework, okay, over the past week, which the girls loved, by the way.
I know
Loved
they
it.
really did love it. They looked
They
forward
did.
to it. And if I
And
forgot at a practice to go over homework, they were reminding me.
yeah. And so there was a question asked if there was like somebody they looked up to or something. Was that as a question?
I
And
think who has inspired you?
yeah. And Braylee was mentioned
We had
several
3
times.
girls mentioned multiple times, which really made me happy.
Yeah. And
And I don't think they were the 3 that we would have expected as
No.
coaches to think we're inspirational to others, if that makes sense. It was,
Yeah.
I think really all three kind of surprised me because they are some of the quieter athletes who maybe don't, as a coach, I don't hear them as much, or I don't, see them being quite as vocal as a leader. So
We're
to see
hard on
them,
her too.
what is it?
We're hard on her.
Oh yeah, we're hard on her, and she's
We're
just starting
hard.
out, but we're also transparent with her, when I've
Oh,
talked to her and her mom. We're gonna be tough on her. She's got a big important part. She's in a lot of sections this year, so she's just gonna have to.
she's a tough cookie.
She is.
Love her.
Des, what else do you think?
Um, I don't know.
I think it's like finding a balancing that we want to
Yeah.
make sure that we aren't comfortable. Like, we have to be comfortable not being comfortable because when we're comfortable, we're going to be in a state of like, I was watching a podcast and this guy on leadership and he was talking about how if you're stagnant, like think about a stagnant pond and all the bacteria that starts like nothing really great happens in stagnant water. Like we need that water flowing. We have to keep the challenge going. We have to keep constant evolution and changes happening. Otherwise, we get stagnant. And when you get stagnant, then you're basically backpedaling, like you're moving backwards, you're not moving forwards. And so we want to keep moving forward. So it's like finding a balance of making sure the athletes are in a good place where yes, they have confidence, but also they're being challenged. Otherwise, we're getting bored, we're causing problems, we have behavior issues. Like, as long as we keep challenging them, then they're in a good place, and it's
Yeah.
finding that balance to make sure that we have a sense of unity on our team and allowing, yes, those leaders to step out, but also those who are shy. We want like a good, healthy mix. And we've seen that. Like, we've seen girls who literally come in with their heads down, shoulders dragging, um, really afraid to even like say hi, take charge in drills or lead stretches
Mhm.
and lead counts and cheer their teammates on. So I think it's
I
important to
just,
constantly evolve
That
and make
is
sure.
Kara on our team. She started she did tumbling, but her first like anything was our showcase last year. She was on our showcase team and she was very shy. Like when you gave her correction and talked to her, she was just kind of like not even speaking up about it, just kind of like, yeah, okay. And now she is like, okay, we're stretching. We're doing this.
Yeah,
yeah, girl.
Yeah.
that's
Well,
great.
I want to talk about our dance that M taught us for tryouts.
That was
I'm telling you what, I think I threw my hip out several times when I was rolling on that ground.
Candy. We really have to up our podcast. Like, why can't I insert a video right now?
I don't know, but I tell you what, I had to actually like help myself up several times. But you know what? I was getting it.
You were getting it.
Oh, I was. Oh, I was like, boom, boom, shake, shake,
Now drop what your
drop,
mama said.
drop. You know.
Um,
And
Well,
then
I mean, since you're talking about our community partnerships, we can talk about how unity looks in the community and how we're always constantly like reaching out for others. I think we have a lot of good partnerships, but
I really want a partnership with Wesleyan's dance team.
I
And
agree. I'm working on it.
I mean, I after they performed, I asked one of the dancers, I'm like, hey, how can we get an adult hip hop class? And she's like, we're adults. I'm like, girl, can we get a senior hip hop dance? I'm like,
We
I'm
want a
40 years
master's
old.
level.
I'm like, can
See,
I get
we
a
want silver sneakers, please.
I mean, and listen, I know my husband was watching. I mean, if that can get my husband to watch, give it to me.
I agree. I am here
I
for
know
it.
Bill's listening.
Haley, the coach, had reached out to me after, I think it was yesterday actually, and she just wanted to thank us for our event the past weekend. The girls really enjoyed being there and we appreciate the opportunity. It was a wonderful community event and your cheer girls are so talented. I said, thank you, Haley. Thank you so much. I'm definitely obsessed with the Bobcat dance team. I cannot wait to watch them again. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope that we can do a clinic or something really soon. Mom Dance Squad, I'm really not sure what this looks like. I want to learn the entire first dance you all performed. Haha. Great job.
Yes. Don't
But that first one, yeah. So if we can
boom.
get some kind of, you know, encourage that partnership, encourage that relationship. I would love to. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Moms be back 2026. Get you
I think it's
fixed.
important to recognize that like when one of our programs succeed, that we all succeed. You know, we
Mhm.
really, and I think that Buchanan does a really good job at that, that we all show up for each other. We all um really push each other to do better. And of course, we have a lot of the youth cheer girls at the gym and we're helping them with tumbling, but also they showed up to our showcase over the weekend and they were really excited. They had good energy. We had some dance teams there, and Studio 33 has always helped us with like choreography when we've needed it for our showcases. And um, of course, they're right next door.
Well,
Our girls go over there and like,
yeah.
so.
Well, Carter, he would play for midgets, and so I would see um is it Mandy? Mandy.
Mhm.
And she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, Candy, they're talking about the routine, during this time everybody is like not stressed, but just like
You can
talking
say stress.
routine." Okay, yeah.
You can
I
say
just don't
stressed.
want
It's
to like,
okay.
yeah.
The fall
Okay.
is a stressful time for cheer coaches.
Yes, yes. So, and I thought that you cheer did a really nice job.
I
I
thought
mean,
so too.
during that time, it is limited for cheer like practices and stuff,
Space.
space. And, when we didn't have the gym, it was limited. It
Oh
really
yeah.
was. And so, um, I thought they did a really amazing job. I
I did
think
too. I
middle
was excited
school,
to
high
see that all
school,
their
yeah,
like they had multiple coaches on multiple teams, so they had a lot of help. That was good. And
it's
there was a lot of
also
talent. We saw a lot of back handsprings, a lot of back
yeah.
walkovers. So I thought their stunts were really unique and cute, and they put a lot of thought into their choreography. So yeah. And then I thought the dancers were amazing. I mean,
Well, and it's also fun to watch some of the students that I've I haven't had them, but that I've seen that are students like
right.
that are like come out of their shell, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I didn't realize, and this little girl went by me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, was that you? And she's like, Mrs. Pineapple. And I said, oh, I could not believe that little girl just danced like that. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. And I was so proud of her.
Yeah, I thought it
So,
was really nice. And I think it's really cool to see the different like styles and choreography come out too, and like the different interpretations that I'm not sure what are they called in dance? Not instructors, but directors, I think.
that sounds great.
I had to message all these people. I'm like, can you please send me intros? Because I don't even know how to introduce. I had to go up to Kinsley Ripley, who is my neighbor and one of the dancers for the Dance Factory. And I was like, hey, I saw your warm up and I don't know how to react to it because I'm obviously, yeah, like, do I snap? Do I like, I just scream. I cowbell. I'm jumping up and down. I'm obnoxious, right? Everybody
I
hears me in the
had
gym.
the same exact conversation with Kendall in
Yeah.
the bleachers.
I
Sorry.
was,
I
well,
don't
I went up to Kinsley and I was like, just know my heart is exploding for you. I'm so excited to watch you. I will be cheering as loud as I can inside my soul. I'm just going to try to keep it in. And then she told me, she was like, okay, well, there's one section where I do a lot of turns and you can go crazy on that part. I need you to. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Okay.
great. So when I saw her turn, well, actually, it was every turn. I thought it was my turn. So I was like yelling. And then the turns, like, she did like 50 of them. I was like,
I
oh,
know.
okay, this is it.
And I know I told Kendall, I'm like, Kendall, I know she's got to be dizzy
I was
because
like, that's my neighbor.
I was like, I know she's got to be. Why is she not passing out? Because I know she's
Yeah.
got to be dizzy. Why is she not like falling over? Because I'd be like, look. You know
Yeah.
how you like go on the ball bat and you're like going in a circle? I'd be done.
Oh, yeah. Dizzy bat.
But it
Well,
was really good to come together, and I thought it was really great.
I
Yeah,
think so
even
too.
It
though
was.
But we're always looking for more partnerships in the community and trying to figure out ways to get others involved. I feel like we're really intentional about who we buy like our merchandise or apparel through. We like to take turns. Like, we might get a sign or a banner from here. We might get pictures from here. We might get event t-shirts like I usually give to Christy, and then our cheer warm-ups we get from Ashley, and then we're getting boosters
Pictures from
merch from
Joey.
somewhere else.
I'm gonna have
Like,
to contact Joey because I never got my picture taken.
well, I need to retake Adelaide's as well, so he knows.
Subject.
So,
Jess, did you get your picture taken?
Yes, I
yes, she
did.
did. I already got hers. I
Oh,
haven't sent them out yet. I
you
think
know why didn't get my picture taken?
Why?
I had 500 honeybees around me, and I'm like stressed. I'm like, can there be one more honeybee get lost? Like, I was stressed.
you guys did a great job. It is stressful, but that was good practice, right?
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Gosh,
And
love
I
them.
think the parents really appreciated it because
They
they
didn't
were
have to worry.
really stressed before
Mhm.
about hair and makeup. And then I think once they got through it once, like
Yeah.
we figured it out,
Yeah.
we have it figured out. But anyways, to just go back to unity, making sure that we as a community are all moving in the same direction and that we're reaching out and really like valuing those partnerships, but encouraging them and embracing them and like really pouring into those. And I think that not that there weren't bridges made, but like we really bridged some gaps this weekend with our performances, like just in the sense that there were never any ill feelings between us and the Dance Factory or Gym Zone. I just hadn't seen Nina in years. Like,
Mhm.
and so it was good to see her and get that conversation going and to perform together and share the floor with her. And, so we have to be willing to just reach out and like invite people to things. And sometimes I know that's hard to do because it was a stressful event and there was a lot of planning, but I
Mhm.
really loved it and I want to do it again.
Well, and they have the Nutcracker coming up, and I
Yeah,
think that is absolutely amazing. They do
I
Mhm.
an
can't wait to
amazing
go.
job.
I love going
Yeah.
to I go at least once a year, but she's always busy. I never talk to her. She's doing her thing, but like, she has to be stressed over that performance. It's huge. So to make
Well,
time
and
and come, I think
Paisley
was really
did,
nice.
yeah, Paisley did dance, and it was just hard because it was on Saturdays,
Yeah.
and then we had, throughout the week. But Monica, she did an amazing job with
Oh
Paisley.
yeah. Oh, those acro girls,
Mm-hmm.
they
So,
were really good.
Mhm.
we talk about some notes that we have here. Team huddles. Like after every before we leave, at tumbling, we always go 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get fired up. One thing that we do for honeybees is we go 5, 6, 7, 8 honey bees, and so we kind of try to make it our own. Now, what do the fireflies do?
We say, fireflies, light it up.
Okay, what do the monarchs do?
We do little butterflies. Well, it's supposed to be butterfly. We try to get them to fly away, but they don't want to do that. Anyway, we put it in and we say all in, no
No
fear,
fear,
next
next
level
level
right
right
here.
here.
Let's
Let's
go,
go,
monarchs.
monarchs.
Oh.
And of course, our wildflowers say, we are powerful wild flowers.
And then I go, because
And
I'm sniffing the watermelon.
I keep telling Candy and Ariana that I'm going to, in one competition, put like dried
Don't
flower petals.
tell.
They don't even watch it. I've tried to get our athletes to watch, they don't. And if they do, they'll just be really excited about it. I'm going to put them in my hand
Mhm.
at like maybe if we make it to Worlds or something. We are powerful wild flowers. And I'm going to blow petals like all over. Won't that be so cute?
I love it.
Yeah. So, but during those huddles, it's a really good point. It's a really good place for us to bring it together, end on a positive note, talk about you guys. The Monarchs also do what?
Yes, we do. One positive and one improvement from the practice. One thing that you think went really well, and then one thing you need to improve on.
And they're so like fast at it. Like they'll be like bills and jumps, um, jumps and tumbling. Like they know.
Yeah.
Another thing that we do for the honeybees is we have a little bear that is a honeybee, and each kid will choose. What are you laughing at?
Mitchell commented about the showcase and said, Mitchell is our #1 fan. He is on every week. Shout out to Mitch.
What's
Thank
he
you.
saying?
He said, well, first of all, he said, Candy, please don't sing. And I was like, she might forget the words sometimes, but she has a beautiful voice.
Hey, I even called myself out.
You did.
I even said, kudos to Lex, Galaxy streamings, I had to call myself out to like just get it off my chest,
Yeah. Well, then he said it was super, in all caps, stressful. Poor Mitchell and that music. It was stressful.
Hey, the stress went all to Dave Smith. Like, okay, I think all the stress went to your husband, okay? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I think Mitchell probably had days to prepare for that, like happening, like possibly happening. Granted, when we came in the morning and everything was working great, it was like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, we don't need that extra cord. Oh, everything's working great. This is going to be cake. And then we came in for warm-ups and nothing worked. So I feel like, he had a little bit of time to get ready for that. Yeah, but Dave just came in and I was like, you're just gonna have to be the one to stand over there and press play. And he's like, I know nothing about any of this. What team is that? What is their song? Mitch and I are like, they're in order. You can't mess it up.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and then
we really appreciate everyone stepping up.
as Taylor walks by, I'm like, David, you have the most important job. He goes, I know. What kind of job is this? He goes, this is the most important job. How I'm going to
He
screw
went
it
from
up.
rolling mats to being the play man.
He starts
Yeah.
walking off. He goes, oh my gosh, because I'm going to mess it up.
So sorry to change the subject, Candy. You were talking about what you do at
Oh.
Honeybees Huddles.
So we have a little spirit bear honeybee. And the kids usually give it to someone that works hard. And we also do this with
With the
our
spirit stick.
wildflowers, like the spirit stick. They give it to the girls. And I beg the girls or Elijah, don't give it to my girls, please. Because we always forget the honeybee. I mean, I'm like, I love you guys. Please just don't give it to my girls because we'll forget it. It'll be 2 weeks. 2 weeks before they get that spirit stick,
You need to just leave it in your car.
well, then I feel bad, and then they usually get it. I was good this week. I did
Good
good.
job.
So yeah, I was on it.
But they do get
So
excited about it. And we try
yeah,
not to make it like, well, the honeybees are smaller, so it probably
yeah,
does go to a friend and it probably is more of like a friendship bear. But on the wildflowers, we really try to make sure that we're all like giving it to people who have done something, either shown leadership or gotten a new skill or worked extra hard, or maybe they see that their friend needs a little pick me up, but it's not supposed to be like a friendship stick and go to your best friend. It
right,
really is supposed to go to somebody um, who really like deserves it because of their performance or, being a good teammate. And we try to make them elaborate on it, which is always funny. They are kind, they are sweet, but we try to like help them practice vocalizing what it is about that person that they've been inspired by or that they appreciate. Yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about unity, as in like stunt groups. Like, how do they trust within their stunt groups? I Kaisley, she flew more so last year than this year. She was. It was hard to go from like a thigh stand to prep level,
Yeah.
and if someone's scared of heights, it's a lot. Like and if they've never flown before, trying to get them, if they're not fearless, to get someone to fly can be very difficult.
Yeah.
So that trust has to be there. They have to be able to trust you. And usually, if a stunt falls, we usually do what? We make them
Run.
they run
Burpees,
because
condition.
yes, because we always tell them if a flower, if a flyer would fall, we would dive or we would put our body in place and we would make sure that they would not hit the ground because it is our job on the bottom to make sure that they are safe. So,
Right.
and that's one thing that, we try to instill that, you know, they do not hit the ground. They are a team. They make sure that they have that unity. They have that partnership. They make sure that they have that trust that they can build. And you can tell, and you can definitely see that in your routine when you perform.
Right.
And so you have to establish that at the very beginning. And you also, I feel like that has a lot to do with when you do try out too.
Mhm.
I mean, and personalities and stuff, but
And
not
height, like we talk, like
yeah.
height is really important. Size matters. Like, some of my bases on mini level one, when they go up to youth level one, they would have a chance at flying, you know? And so, um, recognizing we want well-rounded athletes too. Like, we don't want someone who is only willing to fly. I hear these horror stories of other teams and athletes being like, well, I was taken down from the air, or so and so threatened to quit because she was taken out of the air. And it happens a lot, and it happens to a lot of different teams. And this is my PSA public service announcement to anybody who ever wants to be a part of Mountain State Cheer. I promise you, I will open the door for you and I will just wave my hand. There's the door. Please leave, because that is not the mindset that we want on our team. And the moment I hear it, there will be a very long lesson to be learned that. But also, I feel like we practice that and set that expectation so early on that we hopefully will never hear that,
Well, like with
and it's not, and
Paisley.
I'm saying flyer just because I feel like I hear that the most. I've heard it about tumbling, I've heard it about the last tumbling spot, I've heard it about, and what I have to say is work harder. If you want a guaranteed spot, then you have to work harder. If sometimes it's just not doable on a team. I mean, Ellie Calger is by far our most flexible athlete, 100%. But she's also one of our tallest athletes on our team. And right now she's on a mini level one. There's no, we do put her up in a little prep, which I'm really excited that we have like 5 or 6 different flyers, Candy. I don't know if you even realize that, but in our
Well,
wildflowers routine, we have like 5 flyers.
well, and that's what I was gonna say. Paisley last year flew the whole like majority of the routine. And this year, she was excited that she didn't have to fly. She was scared to death. And now she gets to fly in one, and then she gets to base a little bit. She gets to tumble. So,
She's literally a bracer, she's a baser,
yeah.
she tumbles, she flies, like. And I really appreciate, like, that's what we want out of our athletes. Now, granted, is Adelaide gonna be, she really wants to fly, poor thing. But she also bases, and then she back spots one stunt, and then she tumbles during one stunt. And so we really want our athletes to be well-rounded, willing and able to do multiple positions. I want to be able to look at my stunt group if it's not working, and I want to be able to switch my bases, and then I want to not be able to teach them how to grab hands or what the counts are or what their position means, because they are so attuned to what goes on in their little unit that I should be able to switch Ellie Calger and Adelaide, switch their spots, and they should know exactly where their hands would go. Because why? Because we've been working as a unit in that stunt group for so long that they know what happens. They know where to go. They know what to do. Um, or vice versa. Adelaide should be able to, um, be a bracer if she needs to. She should be able to know exactly where Olivia goes in that stunt group to brace that stunt. And so when we're looking at team placements and stuff, that's also what we're looking at. We're looking at size. We're looking at, how are we gonna, and Candy, we also bring the girls in to do individual stunt practices. And I think that's huge because it gives them time to have one-on-one coaching, and also, and Des, I know you're doing that with your athletes today. You're going to see exactly what benefit that brings, but it also allows them to really focus on each other and not everything else.
Yeah.
Well, before we kind of wrap things up, because it's almost time, we need to talk about, unity in our workplace. Um, I feel like we have a really good staff. I mean,
We
honestly,
do.
we
I
have
hate to
the,
toot our own horns, but beep beep.
I know, we have the best,
I
I tell
know.
you. Um, I mean, think about it. We have high schoolers that are amazing. We have, um, well, let's just go back. We have, well, let's just work from up. We have three high school. We have previous, you just
Two
literally
graduates.
graduated, Des. And I coach Jaden, and she's immaculate. And then Brittany, she was immaculate, knows a lot about cheerleading,
And we
had
were teammates
access,
together.
yes. And Kendall, she has been a very amazing addition. I
She
mean,
has.
Mhm.
yeah. And I know that she can be a little bit hard. Some of the girls were like, you know, she's a little hard on me. I'm like, you know why? Because she knows exactly what she's talking about. So you need to listen to her and you need to do what she asks. So
Mhm.
and Paisley, she would make excuses. I'm like, Paisley, stop making excuses. If they tell you, if Des and Kendall tell you what to do, you need to do it because they know exactly what they're telling you. So, and I think that unity, we back each other up, we tell each other. And I'll tell
Mhm.
you, Kiara, I love how she will ask for suggestions on how to do things. Like, if she needs like a drill or something that what can we do to do this? She's not afraid to ask, and I feel
Yeah.
like that is,
Well, they really care about the kids a lot.
yeah,
And
Mhm.
I think that's really hard to find out of a bunch of high schoolers to build like genuine relationships with the kids. Because I know when I was in high school and I even coached, like there were kids that I absolutely related to, but also a part of me was like, this is just a job. I'm showing up, coaching the best I can, and like leaving. But they're like invested, they
Mhm.
want to go to the Strawberry Festival and walk with us. Or I thought it spoke volumes that Allie called me out of the blue and was like, Taylor, I'm going to be in town for the showcase. Can I come volunteer?
yes,
Mhm.
She's
yeah,
literally in college at West Virginia University on the competition cheer team, and she made time out of her weekend to come and
yeah,
volunteer,
yes, love her.
help us, show
Yeah.
up. And she stayed all day, asked if she should stay late and clean up. Like,
Mhm.
so for to have a workplace where people want to be is just huge. But I think
Mhm.
it's also that we're all mission driven and that we feel it deep in our bones. What we're doing really matters and that
I
we're
got this feeling inside my.
on my bones.
I'm
What do you
done.
think, Des? What do you think about our staff?
I I think our staff is great. I feel like other like just like in an experience like other workplaces you have like there's gonna be like conflict and like I really can't even think of a time at the gym that I have had conflict with anyone
Yeah,
like in the gym like about the gym. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
we're all there for those kids.
we are.
And
But
so
also, we all have a really good relationship with one another.
yeah.
And if they're, I'm not even sure that their conflict doesn't really, we just talk. We just talk every
Yeah.
day. We're all talking,
Yeah.
it's just an open, all
Yeah.
day long conversation. Our group chats
Yeah.
never end. Our personal text chains never end. So,
Yeah.
but we love you and you do a great job. We're so thankful you just fell into our Mountain State arms.
Well,
Candy, I know you have to get off here soon, but
Paisley would always say, "Well, that's my cheerleader," talking about Des.
so
Like
sweet.
when we would go to clinic, she'd be like, "That's my cheerleader." She'd be like, "That's my cheerleader." So yeah,
So, right as of now, nobody has shared their Unity comments, but I do have a weekly challenge for everybody who's watching just to try and can create one consistent routine this week that really brings from a family, like a family focus, something that brings your family together, whether it's creating one night together, having a meal, sharing a meal down at the table, whether it's trying to make time for just one game. I mean, Jenga or something simple that doesn't take a lot of time. It could be that heads up. There's that app on your phone that you can do like heads up. Have you ever played that game? It's like this.
Hmm.
As long,
Yeah.
I mean, it takes like 3 minutes. It takes, a minute
Mhm.
to find and download. And you could play that. You could set a timer, 5 minutes with your family
Yeah.
just to share some laughs, or attending church together, whatever that healthy habit looks like. Share those in your comments. I will say for me, I have been trying. I have failed the last week at doing this, but for the last few months, I have been regularly working out with my family at least one time a week in our garage, which has been really nice. And it's hard, I know, for my family at least, because we're so broken up and we have so much going on. But that's just, we've got one in college, we have one who shares time at his mom's, we have. So we have a limited time to do things like that, but we do try to at least share a meal together once a week. And um, it's not always home cooked. It's often frozen, but I do try, like, I personally don't count eating out as like that unity part. I really like to make
Mhm.
it at home at least once a week, just because I feel like we do go out to eat a lot, but it's different. We're
Yeah.
not really able to have those conversations and things,
Yeah.
build, small moments. So,
Yeah.
Mine is to clean house. I know my husband would appreciate that. And we would all be able to spend time doing it.
okay,
Yeah.
do you have any healthy habits you'd like to
Yes,
create?
so most times it's like every 3 weeks, my parents will host a cookout at their house in my dad's garage, and everyone will come, like whether we're family or we're friends, everyone's there. We eat, we share stories, and then we always play. I don't know if you guys have ever played, but if your family is very competitive, how mine is, we play Uno No Mercy.
Okay.
And it's like Uno, but there's like different kinds of cards in there. Like sometimes you get to pick someone to switch your cards with, or all the cards have to switch, or you can't stack certain cards on top of each other. And let me tell you, those games will go for hours.
Wow.
Hours. But
Well,
it's
that
pretty
sounds like
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a game playing family too. I get too competitive. I've flipped a board or so. I've been in timeout. And so I just have to like manage my own emotions.
Yeah.
And so Jenga is a decent one that I'm good at. Heads up, like I can't
Mhm.
really mess that up too bad. But like Risk and things that take a lot of thought and time, Monopoly, I
Mhm.
usually just sit that out. I'll watch, I'll drink wine
Mhm.
and like laugh with you guys, but I should not be an active participant because I'm a child. So yeah, but yes, so let's think of that. And then I know our homework packet ended. So for wildflowers at least, and I'm gonna try a little bit with my fireflies as long as I can make it age appropriate. But I ordered these mindset cards, which came in the mail. And so starting next week, I am going to pick one mindset card for the week, and then I'm going to tape it up onto the wall. And each mindset card, there's a lot of them, talks about just like a healthy how to have, create, and overcome mental obstacles or mindsets that relate to sports or cheerleading. So I'm excited to start those cards, but I hope that can be like a healthy habit that I bring to practices for our kiddos. And Des, you're welcome to use those for the Monarchs as well.
Okay.
Okay, so ultimately, today's podcast was over unity and how little things that we do in our day-to-day lives that promote unity, how we make decisions as a team to promote unity and get everybody working and moving in the same direction. Today, I just wanted to make sure that we recognize that unity is absolutely a commitment, and it's also intentional. It doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen by coincidence. It happens when you make the effort to move forward in a common direction. So it does not happen from one person or two people or even three. It really takes accountability from all people inside and outside of your program or workplace, etc., family. So let's start this commitment by, commenting on this video and sharing your family's weekly goal with us. How will you guys become more united? How will you become a unit in your family or in your household? Share those in our comments. It's making sure that we show up for our friends and family and for our community, even when it's not easy. So, like I said, this week's challenge is how are we going to show up? What intentional strategy are we going to use to move forward as a unit? Right now, we don't have any comments, but we will manage those we'll come back and check them later. So let's keep living this fired up life of ours. If you haven't already, go back and watch our previous episodes on friendship, integrity, respect, excellence, and determination. And let's get ready for next week's as we wrap up all of our core values with positivity. And yeah, and then after these, our core values end next week. The next videos are going to be a little more fun. We're going to get into some more of those how we make decision videos or life at the gym. We have some really fun hot topics coming for you. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or thoughts about where we should take this podcast next, please comment on our videos and share those so that we can try our best to incorporate some new ideas. But thank you for tuning in, and remember, like, subscribe, and follow Mountain State Cheer Academy on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube so that you can be a part of our unit here at Mountain State Cheer Academy. That's it for today's episode. We love you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
Bye.